Good morning. Something clicked for me this week that I need to show you. Lenny of Lenny's newsletter and podcast published Peter Yang's research on AI adoption. It was fantastic insights about what companies like Shopify and Zapier are doing right. But as I read it, I realized that Yang was answering what, but not the why. He showed us a bunch of successful tactics, but not the strategic thinking that makes them work, which gave me an idea. What if I used AI to dig into the why, to figure out what most companies will get wrong when they inevitably try to just copy these approaches? So today I'm demonstrating strategic research analysis using AI not just to summarize content, but to extract deeper patterns that separate sustainable success from expensive theater. So grab your coffee, because this gets interesting pretty fast. All right, here's what I'm going to demonstrate today. The strategic orchestra conductor, part of my 6 personas of product leadership framework. This persona does market analysis and insight generation, but not the obvious kind. Anyone can read research and extract relevant bullet points. The strategic orchestra conductor, though, can read between the lines to try to understand why some approaches work and why others fail. Yang documented 5 steps that successful companies take. I've linked the article below in the description. It's a great piece with great research, but there's a rub. If I just share this list with 10 product leaders, some are going to succeed, but others are going to struggle. Why is that? The tactics are the same, so there's got to be something deeper, right? Some underlying strategic thinking and patterns that make the difference. So for today's AI demo, I'm going to show you how to systematically uncover those patterns by using AI. This doesn't just apply to Yang's research. That's just the example I'm going to use today. This is a reusable approach to extract competitive intelligence from any industry analysis. So let's jump into the demo. I'm going to paste Yang's research, which is this article from Lenny's newsletter, 25 Proven Tactics to Accelerate AI Adoption at Your Company. Right? It's broken down into 5 main suggestions, and each of the 5 have sort of 5 tactics underneath them. So I'm going to first drop the file here into my chat. And watch what happens when we go from reading research passively to start thinking like strategic detectives. So let me do my first prompt. This research shows what successful companies do with AI adoption. I want you to identify the underlying strategic principles that explain why these tactics work. What leadership thinking patterns are these companies demonstrating that others might miss? Okay, let's let it run. All right, let's start looking at this. The show don't tell leadership philosophy. Most effective leaders aren't making proclamations, they're demonstrating workflows in real time. Okay? Treating AI as organizational capability, not individual productivity. The red tape is innovation killer. Leading indicators over vanity metrics. Embracing the enthusiast network effect. They understand peer adoption is more powerful than executive directives. The build in the open culture. And look at this last one. These aren't really AI strategies, they're change management strategies applied to AI. Companies understand organizational learning is the competitive advantage, not any AI tool. This is exactly what I've been saying for close to 2 years now, which is AI is the tool, but the manner in which companies adopt it is what separates great ones from ones that struggle. This right here shows that organizational development, not technology deployment, is what brings AI in a systematic way with a systematic approach into these organizations. Okay, let's go one step further. Let's ask AI to predict what goes wrong if you copy the tactics, but you don't quite understand the underlying strategic foundation or rationale. Based on this research, predict the specific ways companies will fail when they try to implement these 5 steps without understanding the underlying strategic principles. What will their implementation look like, and why will it create problems? Okay, let's let it go. Explain the how becomes compliance theater. Track and reward, people start gaming the metrics. Cut the red tape, and there's a security panic and the pendulum swings. Looking at these observable outcomes: high training completion rates, low actual usage, impressive usage statistics with 0 business impact. Turn enthusiasts into teachers, creating AI evangelists without substance. AI evangelism feels like MLM pitching, backlash against AI advocates, quality users going underground rather than sharing knowledge. Automation theater, meta failure pattern. The deeper issue is that companies will treat this as a project with a completion date rather than an ongoing organizational capability. They'll declare victory after implementing all 5 steps, then wonder why AI adoption plateaus or regresses. Again, the tactics are the things you do, but unless you understand why, you're going to miss the nuance that may or may not work in your organization, that may or may not work for your industry or for your people, or you may not be able to indicate or identify when the tactics aren't quite landing to make some course correction. If you don't understand the strategic rationale underneath these tactics, you have a much higher chance of failure. So let me just do a brief recap and a teaching moment. I used AI to reveal the strategic thinking that successful companies apply intuitively. Yang documented the behaviors. Excellent research, outstanding piece. But AI helped me extract the cognitive architecture, if you will, that generates those behaviors. This is exactly why a systematic approach beats chaotic experimentation every single time. Companies that succeed with AI adoption are not just implementing tactics. It may look like that from the outside, but they're applying strategic thinking to their capability development. They're applying change management, not just AI deployment. They understand that organizational change requires that methodical, systematic approach that can adapt and scale, not just this random tool adoption. The beautiful irony in this is that I used AI systematically to analyze AI adoption research. A little bit of a meta point there. But again, it proves the point of systematic approach versus chaotic approach. This is what the strategic orchestra conductor does. They synthesize complex market intelligence to reveal underlying competitive advantages that others often miss. While your competitors copy surface behavior, you can understand the strategic DNA that makes those behaviors actually work. And the best part is, this same approach that we just used works with any research. Go grab a McKinsey report, a Harvard Business Review analysis, any substantial research, and apply this framework, these prompts, and you'll extract insights that a passive reader will completely miss. Okay, your assignment this week: go find one piece of industry research relevant to your work and run it through this approach. Don't just consume the insights, extract the why behind successful approaches and predict where others are going to struggle. Get the exact prompts I used in the description below. And if you found this useful, please subscribe to my YouTube channel for weekly AI demos like this one. I release new strategic AI workflows every Saturday that you can implement immediately. On Monday, in my newsletter, Broken Pencils, I'll dive deeper into the complete framework that makes this kind of systematic strategic thinking replicable across any domain. You can find it on LinkedIn or subscribe at my website, breakapencil.com. Remember, the systematic will always defeat the chaotic. Today, I hope I showed you exactly why and how to make it work for you. As always, have a great day and break a pencil.